always walk in the middle of the road, like with the cars, because I used to say, listen, I'm not. So one day I'm driving this particular route home, right? And obviously you feel a lot safer when you're driving. Hello. It's 1 a.m. I'm on my way home.
Him the money and leaving. So it started off odd because when I got to the house, it was dark. And he called me and was like, hey, can you bring the money in?
And part of the way that a narcissist does emotional abuse and damage on you is convincing you that your instincts are wrong and that you can't trust them.
Her room, and I don't know why she woke up, but she just needed her mom. So I just start like, walking around with her, holding her, and she wasn't going back to sleep. So I decided, I was like, I'll just go downstairs and rock her. I figured if I'm going to go downstairs, I would rock her.
Be mindful of the people that you are uncomfortable around. Be mindful of the people that you are naturally more quiet around. Be mindful of the people that you're more hesitant to share important information with.
Please listen to your intuition when it comes to people. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I screw myself every single time. Every single time. You know how you meet someone and you're like, ooh, I don't actually know about this person, but I'm gonna give them a chance anyway. It doesn't end well. It just doesn't end well, ever.
We already kind of had a really bad relationship, but he was really good at... He's actually really good with his words. So he was kind of really good at making me believe that things are fine.
Airbnb host tried to sleep with me. Not just me, but me and my fiance, okay?
And it got really scary. I should have left this morning after discovering she left the bathtub like this. She cleaned it up and I was drafting my message to Airbnb support because the toilet was also leaking and the blinds didn't close so everybody could see me.
Have you ever had that strange feeling in your gut like something wasn't just right and later on you realized you were spot on? That's your intuition speaking, my darling. In today's video, we are diving into real-life TikTok stories that prove why trusting your gut is more important and more powerful than you think. Stay tuned till the end because I'll be back sharing a key takeaway that will help you sharpen your intuition in everyday life. Let's go. But before we go, if you find this video helpful, please consider subscribing.
All right, so I'm going to tell you a story about why you should trust your intuition. Your intuition is that voice in your head or in your gut that comes out of nowhere. It's screaming at you, telling you to do something or to not do something. That is your intuition. That is your sixth sense. So I made a TikTok about how I got kidnapped. I'm going to tell you the first time that I heard my intuition and I ignored it. So I had a friend that I didn't know had become addicted to drugs. Well, at that time I worked third shift somewhere, and my friend had called me and asked me if he could borrow some money. And I was like, yeah, you can. Where you at? He told me where he was at, and I was like, okay, I'll be there at a certain time, and I brought him the money. But it was odd because I was just going to be giving him the money and leaving. So it started off odd because when I got to the house, it was dark. And he called me and was like, hey, can you bring the money in? And it's probably like 1, 2, or 3 in the morning. I don't remember. So he called me and was like, hey, can you bring the money in? And I was thinking, why do I have to get out the car? I'm like, well, this is my friend. I know him. He whatever. So I get out the car, walk up to the house. Before I even knock on the door, a thought screamed at me, he's about to rob you. And I ignored it. And then I walked in the house and it was pitch black. And I was like, oh shit, he about to rob me. So here he comes out with a ski mask on at gunpoint, put the gun to my head. But yeah, if y'all want the full story, just comment if y'all see it. But that's the first time I heard my intuition, and that is the last time that I ever ignored it. Now my intuition is my best friend. I see everything happen from miles away. Any BS, I see it way before it happens. Anything, I trust myself first. That has never happened again. That thought literally screamed at me. And had I continued to ignore the next thought, I would have lost my life that night.
Guys, my gut instinct literally saved my life. Imagine, so one day I'm driving along. There used to be this route that I used to walk. And I always used to have anxiety walking this route, even though it was like the safest route home at the time. And there's like all these trees either side, and I always used to think, oh my gosh, one day I'm gonna get dragged in. But like, I didn't want to walk on the left, didn't want to walk on the right. So always, if I was walking late, I would always walk in the middle of the road, like with the cars, because I used to say, listen, I'm not. So one day I'm driving this particular route home, right? And obviously you feel a lot safer when you're driving. Hello, it's 1 a.m. I'm on my way home, and I've literally gone over the roundabout, and I'm about to like turn into this particular area that I used to walk. And there was a white car, and it was literally completely off, stationary, right in front of a lamppost. From the back, where I'm driving behind, it looked as if it had crashed into the lamppost, and all of the doors, all 4 doors were open. So automatically I've slowed down. I was never going to stop. I'm not an idiot. I was never going to stop, but I slowed down because I thought maybe someone's actually crashed into the lamppost, and someone might have been injured. Like, it could have been anything. It's like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's pitch black on the road. There's no movement. Like, there's just this car, all doors open, da 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 da. So imagine I'm slowing down to like crawl past the car, clutch control vibes. Yes, I'm looking, and automatically, have you ever been in a situation where you can feel someone looking at you? I felt this presence entered my soul, it entered my body, and I could feel someone looking at me. I could feel it. So automatic, imagine I'm looking this way as well, because I'm looking into the car. And I also realized that the car was probably the tiniest centimeters away from the lamppost, but it hadn't crashed into the lamppost. So automatically I knew this was a setup. Yeah, so I dropped the gear, gone. I said forget it. I said forget about it, I'm not on it. Yeah, and literally where I'm driving to is that you have to now turn a sharp right corner. Just before I turned this sharp right corner, I looked into my rearview mirror, and I swear all I see is people coming from either side. Like, I couldn't tell whether they were male, female or whatnot, because number 1, I'm driving too quick, number 2, it's dark. But people coming from either side of the road, so the side that the car was initially parked on, and also the bushes on the other side. And my heart sank. I didn't stop. I just went all the way home, all the way back home. Didn't stop at all. Went in, told my mum. I was like, oh my gosh, this just happened. Da, da, da. Can you imagine if I stopped? Because there are people in the world that would see a car that looked like it's crashed, doors open. You're going to think, is that the person all right? And you're going to stop. You're going to stop. If I'd stopped, that could have been a whole different situation.
You can't make this shit up, guys. My Airbnb host tried to sleep with me. Not just me, but me and my fiance, okay?
And it got really scary. I should have left this morning after discovering she left the bathtub like this. She cleaned it up, and I was drafting my message to Airbnb support because the toilet was also leaking and the blinds didn't close, so everybody could see me when I changed. But she knocked on my door and was like, hey, I'm gonna make traditional Romanian breakfast. Do you want some? And I thought that was nice. She was like, I need some butter. I was like, okay, I'll go to the store, I guess. She decided to come anyway, started picking out all these groceries, and then she was like, I forgot my card. Can you pay for it? Okay, I guess so. You can pay me back when we get back, I guess. She didn't. Then she asked to join us when we wanted to go explore the town. She started asking weird questions like how many people I slept with. Do we not like to have relations? Were we poly? Because she was wanting to see if we wanted to get in her bed. I told her this is very inappropriate questions. I don't feel comfortable staying here. I want to go back to the Airbnb and get my stuff. And then I started recording because I knew it was going to get very weird. I put it in my pocket. It's really hard to hear some of the stuff. She said, if you don't want me around, just tell me and I'll leave. I was like, okay, please leave. I don't want you here. But she didn't leave. She kept just digging the hole deeper and deeper and deeper. She started asking, are you a feminist? Because she didn't believe that men and women should get paid equally because men are stronger. She followed us all the way back to the Airbnb, which I recorded the entire time in my pocket. When I was outside on the phone with Airbnb, little did I know she went to my fiance, who is a type 1 diabetic, and was asking him questions like...
She said, you really don't have sex with other women. And then she said, you really don't get bored. And then she said that if I sleep with her, she could cure my diabetes.
So she was doing all this stuff, trying to come on to him, trying to get him to like sleep with her while I was on the phone with support. Then suddenly she came downstairs and
crazy look in her eyes, like the look that you see in like serial killer movies and stuff. She had in real life. I was scared, and I was on the phone with support. They heard everything that she was saying, and she said, he's cheated on you. I just want you to know that. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I just can sense these things. I just know them. She was shaking. And she told me that she could cure his diabetes. Okay, that's not possible. I told her, look, we need to be separated right now. You can't hear what's going on with me in support, okay? She accused me of trying to kick her out of her own house. And I was like, no, it's just, you're really cold. I'm already out here. I see you shaking, so you should go inside. She followed me all the way up, and Airbnb support was like, you need to leave right now. Please grab all of your things and get out of there. She was very scared for us. And while I was on support with Airbnb, Jordan was packing up all of our stuff. And I swore I was scared that that girl was going to grab a knife and kill us right there, because she had the craziest look in her eyes.
Yeah, I mean, she was like talking to me when you were gone through the door, and like she sounded so just desperate. And like I wanted the door closed at first, but after a while I was like, I need to keep this open to make sure she's not, being capable of grabbing a knife.
On the way out of the apartment, I had the keys and I threw them behind me so that she wouldn't follow us. That girl ended up messaging me and accusing me of punching her. She accused us of raping her and just the craziest things. But Airbnb said, hey, I heard you. I was on the phone with you. There are recordings of it. You're going to be fine. And Airbnb was great throughout this entire process. They have taken care of us. Okay, guys? Like right now, we are in the best Airbnb in the city. And it's amazing. And they paid for our lunch and they paid for our transportation. They made sure that we are taken care of.
Please listen to your intuition when it comes to people. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I screw myself every single time. Every single time. You know how you meet someone and you're like, ooh, I don't actually know about this person, but I'm gonna give them a chance anyway. It doesn't end well. It just doesn't end well, ever.
Okay, so story time on how I caught him doing what he was doing. So we already kind of had a really bad relationship, but he was really good at, he's actually really good with his words. So he was kind of really good at making me believe that things are fine, like trauma, it was just the trauma, it was just this, it was just that. So things were already crazy anyways, but prior months to this day, I had already noticed, 6 months to this day, I had already noticed that he was detaching from our family. Like, he wasn't going grocery shopping with me anymore. He wasn't helping me really with anything. Like, we used to cook dinner together. We used to try to make new recipes together. Like, being in the kitchen was our thing. Like, just being together as a family in general was our thing, and it just stopped becoming a thing. My son, he cuts my son's hair, and suddenly that stopped. It was like my son had to keep, we had to keep like, hey, are you gonna have time to cut his hair? Are you gonna have time to cut his hair? And then it just came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm done relying on him. Like, even stuff with my car, stuff around the house. Like, my dad started noticing just everything. And then, so I was like, you know what? I'm just not gonna take, like, I'm gonna call my brother-in-law, because my brother-in-law gets his haircut every Friday. So I called my brother-in-law and I asked him if he could take my son to get his haircut with him, which he said yes, of course. And then, so he took him to go get his haircut, and after that, it just became like a thing. Like, I would just be like, hey, do you think you could take him again this Friday? Because I know he went every Friday, so as long as I tell him early, he'd be like, yeah, like, cool. And then, so that just stopped completely, and I was just like, dang. Okay, that had nothing to do with this. Basically, how I found out was, one, he took his fucking phone everywhere also, like, and he was always on his phone, like, all the goddamn time, like, oh my goodness, like, the kids would be talking to him, and he would just be on his phone. I'm like, bro, look at the kids, please, like, they are talking to you. So anyways, it was just a lot. There was so many things that got to this moment. And then, so January 1st, I wake up, and I'm gonna make my baby some breakfast, and he lays there, and he's laying there on his phone. And then I'm like, of course, you know what I mean? He's on his phone while I'm over here trying to get breakfast, and we just stayed up late because it was just New Year's, and we did fireworks and champagne like a family. Anyways, so he goes to go put his contacts in, and I'm like, I bet you he didn't take his phone, or I was like, or maybe he did, but my gut was just like, just go check. So I did. I went to go check, and I'm checking the phone. I don't see anything. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then as I'm going to put the phone down, like, I'm literally going to put the phone down, right? And I freaking see, like, a little message box. And I'm like, what the heck? I just checked. Like, I go back, sure enough, it says, like, I love you the most. Like, it was some kid shit. Like, some kid shit. But, I mean, she is a young girl, so it makes sense. Anyways, I see that, and my brain is still trying to play tricks on me. My brain is like, maybe it's his cousin. No, bitch, it's not. Nope. So basically, I'm like, nope. And that's when I go run to my phone, because I'm like, one, I need to get this number, because I need to verify. I need to verify. So I get the phone, I do this, and he comes out, and he's playing with my baby, and my baby. He's playing with our baby, and I had already called this girl, and she didn't answer. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just question him, because what the fuck? This is my life. This is our future. This is our life. Like, we have built so much, and I'm like, no. So I'm just like, you're talking to somebody, huh? Ignores me. I'm like, I know you're talking to somebody. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, bro, I saw the messages. Like, stop fucking lying. Anyways, he didn't even know I knew that I knew her number. He didn't even know that I knew her name, that I knew that they worked together. He didn't know any of this. He just thought I was dumbfounded. Bro, by 1 o'clock, I had left my home by 12 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, I had already figured out all this stuff. And I think what triggered me to leave the fastest was the fact that they were saying I love you to each other. That was weird. I was like, I love you? Like, your energy his energy when he'd come home from work was so dead and dry to my kids and towards me that I'm like, you're over here giving some bright ass energy to some young girl from your work, but yet you're coming home and making our fucking life miserable? Oh, fuck no, I had to leave.
Be mindful of the people that you are uncomfortable around. Be mindful of the people that you are naturally more quiet around. Be mindful of the people that you are more hesitant to share important information with.
Her room, and I don't know why she woke up, but she just needed her mom. So I just start, like, walking around with her, holding her, and she wasn't going back to sleep. So I decided, I was like, I'll just go downstairs and rock her. I figured if I'm gonna go downstairs, anyone to rock her.
Good morning, guys. Happy Monday. New week starting. I'm supposed to be at my PRN job, but I didn't go. I've been having a difficult time with leaving the house. I don't know if it's since the election, because I really wasn't going out that much before then. Since the summer, I really ain't been at the house that much, but it's getting more and more difficult for me to do things that feel inauthentic and don't serve me. Like, I'm tossing and turning in the bed this morning, like, I really need to go to work. But I didn't want to, so I didn't go. And it's PRN, I'm not going to get in trouble. I've already put in a notice. I'm going to be quitting at the end of the year. And it's been a couple of years that I've been there at this prison. And just the environment, the vibes are unsettling to my spirit currently. And I just feel like I'm kind of spiritually open and sensitive right now. And I just don't want to be in that environment. Not that, also I don't want to work. So there's that. But the prison specifically, I'm having a hard time with. And I just want to say to women, like, you have these instincts and these alarm bells, these signs and signals for a reason. God equipped us. And the more and more I just think about organized religion, it's so clear that the women are the mothers of the earth, and God gave us so much, and that's why. You know how colonizers have to take over other places because they have the spices and the talent and the gold and all that, and they don't have anything, so they become the colonizers. I kind of feel like that's how men decided that they were in charge, because women literally have all the stuff. And if you're not in, somebody has to manage the one with all the stuff. But anyway, I'm just saying, women, you have these alarm bells, you have these sixth senses, you got a motherly instinct, you got a intuition, you have all of these alarms, and some of you have extreme anxiety because that's an alarm going off to tell you that you're being violated, you're violating your own boundaries, or you are not being true to your authentic self. Listen to those things in your relationships, in your jobs, in your everyday environment, even with your children, with all the things. Listen to those internal alarms that tell you, hey, something is wrong. When your body gets tense, when you start to feel super anxious or nervous, that is your body telling you something is not right. Something needs to be adjusted or fixed. Something is going on. You are being violated in some kind of way, or danger is imminent, or this person is not being honest with you, or this environment no longer serves you spiritually and is harmful to you. Listen, if I can't get y'all to do nothing else, I'm not trying to force anyone to leave their relationship or quit their jobs or stop showing up for work or cut their family members off or whatever. But all I'm just saying is, when your body, when your spirit, when the alarms start going off, letting you know that something is not right, something needs to be adjusted, listen to it. And part of the way that a narcissist does emotional abuse and damage on you is convincing you that your instincts are wrong and that you can't trust them. That's the first thing they head for. Your instincts, your intuition, your natural alarm system that tells you, hey, something's not right. They start to make you question yourself. Are you sure that that's what happened? Maybe you're just being dramatic. Perhaps you didn't understand what I was saying. Are you okay? Because it seems like you getting super da-da-da. All the things that undermine your own judgment to tell you that those instincts are wrong is the first thing a narcissist will do. So that's the first thing that you need to build back up. And trusting your own gut, your gut instincts, your conscience, letting you know something about this is not right. But then also understanding how to check that when society puts shame and guilt on women and uses that to control them. That's the same thing. That's why they use guilt and shame. That's why guilt and shame is such an effective tactic for controlling women. Because they know that we have these gut. If they can instill in us that something is wrong, like not taking care of your man is wrong, then they know that our gut instincts will do the rest. Our conscience will do the rest. But that's why I'm saying you have to trust yourself. If you are in a situation and you're feeling and your anxiety gets super high, or you get tense, or you get nervous, or you start to be afraid, or you start to feel panicked, listen to it. That's not coming out of nowhere. That's God communicating with you, to your natural body's alarm system, to your frontal lobe, to the reactive parts of your brain to tell you, hey, danger, something's not right. Something needs to be adjusted. We're almost out of gas. We're pouring from an empty cup. We're being violated. We're being taken advantage of, and so on and so forth. Listen to it. Listen to it. That's all I'm saying. If you ain't got to listen to me, you ain't got to listen to mama, you ain't got to listen to nobody, but at least listen to your own gut. Have a good week.
If today's video taught us anything, it's this: your gut feeling is really wrong. Science even backs this up. Your subconscious mind picks up patterns and signals before your conscious mind does. So next time you get the inner feeling, pause and listen. What was your favorite TikTok from this compilation? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Drop a comment, and if you want more of this content like this, do not forget to subscribe, like and share. Trust your instincts, and I'll see you in the next ones, my darlings. Bye.